Morning, church. It's testimony weekend, and I just wanted to share a little bit with you of my own journey. Very short, but I've so appreciated what Nick shared and what Jill has shared, and I just wanted to share a little bit this morning about my own story. I've been very open about my journey, and I've shared quite a lot in church about my own struggles, particularly with mental health issues. But I want to say from the beginning of this testimony that I'm not defined by my battles or my struggles. I'm not defined by the things that I've experienced or gone through. I'm defined by who Jesus says I am. And I'm loved, and I'll walk in grace and peace and his overwhelming kindness, and each day I'm being healed and restored by his love and his compassion for me in my life. And I believe as well that God has used everything that I've experienced to make me a better person, a better pastor. I believe a more compassionate and empathetic pastor and leader, and I feel so privileged to be the pastor and to be part of a church that is so loving and compassionate and caring, and it is just the greatest privilege, and we all feel that, me, our family, my family, and we just so privileged to be part of our church. So the faithfulness of God. So from being very young, through many different factors, I developed OCD. From about the age of 11, I was very ill with OCD. There are lots of factors. I believe that some of the factors in my own life were safety. I didn't feel safe as a young person. It wasn't my mum and dad, they loved me very much, but it was the environment in which I grew up. There was a lot of violence and immorality around the area where I lived, and I didn't feel safe. I also think there might be a genetic factor to it, but the largest aspect of it, I think, is spiritual, because there were experiences I had when I was younger that I'll now look back and see them as a spiritual attack on my life. But I thank God that all those things he has defeated and overcome, and I can walk in victory through Jesus in all of them, whether they were me feeling unsafe, I now feel safe in Jesus. Whether it was a genetic factor, he can heal that and put that right. And he has conquered every demon, demonic force, spiritual, malevolent thing that would come against us. He has destroyed all the power of that. So in all those things, I can have victory every day in my own life. But I just want to say that, I was really ill when I was younger, and I was hospitalised as a teenager. It was a very difficult and dark time for me and for my family. But each time I've experienced a battle with my mental health, God has faithfully brought me through. And he's not only brought me through, but he's restored everything to my life and given me victory over things and hope. And I'm not saying that it wasn't dark, and I'm not saying that there were times when I didn't feel completely lost and broken, and I did, but I want to say that he's brought so many people into my life at just the right moment to pray for me, to be with me, to support me and to help me, and who understood me in my journey. And God has been faithful. He has never let me go. He's never let me down, and he's never forsaken me in any way. And he's brought light and life back to me. And every time I've had a battle, I've come through. And here I am today. And it's testimony to his grace and his mercy and his love that I stand strong, that I'm a pastor of a church, that I'm part of a loving community, that I have a wonderful family, and that I have the strength of God in me every day to live for him. So I guess what I wanted to share with you is I have had some really dark times, some awful times in my life where I felt that all was just broken and lost, but I know that God has always been there. But he brought me through, and he brings me through constantly. And he doesn't just bring me through, he lifts me into a place of hope and life and peace, and something is healed, wonderfully every time something is healed. And I don't want to experience battles. I don't want to experience battles with my mental health. None of us do. And I believe that in every sense that I can walk in victory because of what Jesus has done. But what I want to say this morning is, he is faithful. He has been faithful to me. He has always been faithful and kind and loving and brought me through. So church, I just wanted to share with you this morning that God is faithful, and that whatever we experience, he'll bring us through. And our God is truly, truly a God of love and peace and grace and hope and power and strength. And he will pour his love into us. And it's such a privilege to be part of a loving community where we see healing and restoration. And we're going to see more of it. Church, we're going to see people released because Jesus came to heal and to bring release and peace and hope to all those that are broken, lost, suffering, tormented, or going through anything difficult. Our God is full of hope, and he is faithful, and we will see wonderful things in our journey when we're able to gather again. I just believe God for great things. But I just want to tell you that God is faithful this morning. He's been faithful to me, and he's faithful to you, and he's brought me through all my struggles and difficulties. And that's my testimony, that I just want to say, our God is faithful. Amen.